It's okay. Bam.
Let me check his name.
Bam, we're live. I'm gonna show you guys.
Kettlebells and Cairns is the guy's name.
Kettlebells. Is this your Instagram account?
Yeah. He says he's not very happy with me, I guess.
I don't see it on there. Is it gone? Did they delete it?
I don't know. I can see it right here.
What the heck?
What's up? People are saying. I think I heard some rumblings about that on one of the threads I'm on, Brian. Someone's upset with you about some team picks.
Yeah, he's mad. This guy or a couple of people, they were upset. I think mostly with how I ranked CrossFit Omni.
Wait. Sorry. Say that again. Sorry, I was multitasking. Sorry. Okay. Bam, we're live. Did the show start? Fuck yeah, 50 seconds ago. Hi. Okay. What? It's all sorts of house cleaning. This is Brian's Instagram that's up. Okay, go. Brian, you look smiley today. You're fine. You look like you're in a great mood. Oh, Vellner. Should have known.
No, I told you earlier when we talked. I got a workout in and it changed my mood. I did 28 minute on the Echo bike and it was great.
I thought you were going to say you got a workout in and change my underwear.
I also, just had dinner and showered and feeling.
So there was an underwear change. I don't see it on here. That's weird. You could see it on your end, but I can't see it on mine.
Oh no, that Dan Church is the first guy. It's this one here at the top.
Oh, with the 7 replies, we should have known.
Yeah.
That's
good.
bold putting Omnia Black so far down the line. First of all, who is Omnia Black?
Omnia Black, which is
that an ultimate frisbee team?
Omnia Black was the winners of the Atlas Games this year and also the winners of the Granite Games last year. I was so impressed.
So sorry, they're a CrossFit team that won the Atlas Games. That's the worst region in North America, right? That's the one where
not necessarily for the teams.
Okay.
For the men and the women, I think that they had the least depth in their field, and for the women, I think they had the least top end strength also relative to the other North American semifinals. But for the team division, there were a couple of good teams there for sure. And they're taking.
But listen, Matt, you hear what he's saying? I'm saying they're ass, and he said, "Well, they were lacking some strength."
That's that corporate babble.
Anyway, so there's CrossFit Omnia Black. First of all, I think that there's an error on this post in general where it says that both CrossFit and Pro in Montreal were first at the Atlas Games. This is a new guy that I'm using for some graphics, and there's a miscommunication, and that happened. So I own that and I acknowledge that, and I'm sorry about that. But CrossFit Omnia Black is a team that I know very well. I was really, really impressed with them at the Granite Games last year. There were some good teams there, including Move Fast Lift Heavy. Obviously, they ended up failing a drug test last year. And Omnia crushed them. They won by over 100 points. And I was there live in person. I was really impressed with everything that they did, and I thought they would do great at the games. I think I ranked them maybe in the top 5, threatening for a podium spot, and they finished 16th. In general, I think that this games field for teams is stronger than last year's. It's deeper. So there's teams here in the 20s that I would have thought could finish in the teens last year. Additionally,
so if they took 16 last year, there's no way they're going to do better than 16 this year if you think that the teams are better.
That's part of the theory, but obviously I went through a process of putting these teams in order, and they're all there for a reason. But the team that they're comparing them to is Pro in Montreal. Pro in Montreal was second at Atlas Games, and I have them ranked in the top 10. And they finished in the top 10 last year, and I think maybe Pat knows this. They've improved their roster from last year. They've had 3 returners, and I think that they've gotten a strong addition onto their team. So I think that they'll be a really good team in a really tough team division. And I'm waiting for Omnia to hopefully prove to me and to us, to everyone who's rooting for them, that they can do better at the games this year than they did last year.
And this dude's pissed.
Oh, yeah, super pissed. He told me that my research is worse than a monkey.
Oh.
Monkeypox. Oh.
I knew you were going to say it.
Hey, I can't even believe you talk about the teams.
I try to be as involved as I can in as many divisions as possible. I was thinking about doing it for all of the masters and teenage divisions, but I don't think I'm well prepared enough. And for people that are interested in some rankings or predictions for those divisions, I would refer you to Bill Grunler's Instagram. He's going to be calling the action for the age groups this year, and he's starting to put up some predictions and thoughts about those divisions. So that's where I would refer you for that.
And if you're interested in anything besides the top 5, people like Patrick Vellner, Justin Medeiros, and Tia Toomey, don't watch this podcast because we don't fuck around with the schleps. Patrick, hi.
What's up, guys? How are you all
Clearing
doing?
the air a little bit.
We're good. Brian just getting some things off his chest after he disrespected a team, so now we're good.
Hey, look, that's very adult of him. It's good to go back and, revisit things like that. There's nothing wrong with that.
It wasn't adult of him, Patrick. He was telling this guy, "Hey, you're a dipshit," in the nice Brian way. In the nice Brian way. Yeah, and the guy is a dipshit. I mean, come on, man.
I do ask in the post for people to tell me their opinions. Who do you think could be higher and lower? But it's one thing to tell me your opinion, and it's another thing to insult my level of research when I spent, most of the weekend investigating every team on that list.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough because everybody's doing their own research these days, and that with varying degrees of diligence, I think. And everybody wants their people to succeed as well, right? So everybody's got their bias on what they think about certain teams and stuff. So, or individuals even.
Think of how
it's a tough, thankless job.
We've actually learned this year that you can actually predict 18 people to finish in the top 10.
Oh wow!
Who did that? Who did that?
Well, all these people that are saying.
Right.
How could you not have this person in the top 10? I said, great. Who would you take out? Well, I'm just saying.
That's the thing.
The all-time
it's
rebuttal.
hard, right?
Hey,
People
you
are
work so. Go ahead, Patrick. Go ahead.
There's just a lot of good people, right? Like it's tough, and everybody has standout performances in certain things. So it's tough to just be like, hey, oh yeah, well I saw this guy crush this one thing this one time. I think he should be up there, but you're right. There's not a lot of space sometimes. That's the biggest problem.
Pat, where are you right now? Where are you sitting?
I'm at home. I'm in
Oh,
my
you are?
office at home.
Are you getting ready to roll?
Yeah, we leave on Friday morning.
And today's Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday. So I work tomorrow, and then I'll probably pack all Thursday and get organized, and then leave Friday.
Wait, you said you work tomorrow?
Yep.
J-O-B?
J-O-B, man.
Oh, and what will that look like? Look at Matt smiling. Sousa loves the working class. I
mean, it's just we hear all these athletes. Well, things have changed. I have a kid. My training slowed down, and Pat's just like holding down a full-time job with the new son, and still absolutely crushing it, and just like nonchalant, like, well, I got work, so I'm not leaving till Friday.
I will say, like, I'm not. I work. I think tomorrow I'm working like a half day. My clinic rotations right now are not like insanely busy because this time of year, obviously, I'm trying to train a lot more, and so that's one of the perks of being able to make your own schedule too. Is I can just take less hours in the clinic for when I need or block certain days or whatever. And then when I get home in August and September, I'll open up lots of days and I'll work a lot more because I'm not going to be training very much. So it's just like that's kind of one of the perks of what I have as a job. So. I try not to leave people flapping in the wind, though. One of the things about treating patients and dealing with people is that, they get used to seeing you regularly or whatever. And if you leave, I've got to organize care for them while I'm gone and do whatever. So it's just like, you want to be there for people too, if they're in like having acute issues or whatever it is. So if I can be, doing a reasonable day, probably what I'm going to do tomorrow is work a half day, chill at the clinic, have lunch, and actually do some like treatment on myself, and then I'll
hell of a job. This he works story is just taking a horrible turn.
and then I'm gonna go to the gym and do something after that. But I try to like do something. It's nice to do something that takes me away from the gym too.
Patrick, I love you. Will you sign my at the games?
My card.
Oh, is that what it said?
I'm assuming that's one of those trading cards.
Oh yes.
She's actually Pat. She's actually a member at my gym.
Oh really? Oh yeah.
You could probably a huge fan
of yours. Facilitate that.
She started coming to the gym in the during the open, and she's like, found out that I knew you. She's like, Pat Vellner.
Get your card at Wad Zombie while they last, because they won't last long.
I'm not sure what kind of run they made, but
I would grab mine, but it's by the bedside table.
Next to the lotion, probably.
That's where my Colt Mertens card is.
Nice.
Can I show you guys something? I know this is Pat's show, but I want to show you guys something here real quick.
I'm nervous.
You should be. So I think I can just click here and put share, and then I can. I don't know if you guys can hear the audio on this. Can you let me know if you can?
Are you asking for feedback?
Yeah, yes. What should I edit? How did you like that? Could you tell that was Patrick Vellner's body under my head?
Well, when it said Vellner on the jersey, I could.
Who made that for you?
My boyfriend, my newest boyfriend.
Here's my two feedbacks on that on first
Yes,
watch.
please.
I would probably like it to be 5 seconds shorter.
Okay.
And I think that the last image needs to be something memorable of you on someone else's body. Like an image that everyone would know, like Dave doing an announcement or Glassman giving a speech or Pukey the clown or something memorable.
You already sound smarter than anyone doing media currently at CrossFit Inc.
And he got in a dig.
What did you think, Patrick? Do you have any feedback for me?
He's still in shock.
I don't know.
Just take it in.
Just throw the whole thing away and start over.
Yeah, I'm still wondering who took the time.
And an hour from now, Pat's gonna be laying in bed and he's just gonna start chuckling. His wife's gonna say, "What are you laughing about?" He's like, "Sevan showed me this ridiculous video."
You wouldn't understand. Forget about it. I'll just like pencil photo of Sevan's head in my rolling around in my skull for the next few days.
Did you compete at the CrossFit Games against Rich Froning?
Not individual.
No.
I was there on a team in 2015,
right.
and that was the first year he went team. So technically, I did that year, but not ever an individual.
And then 2016, you went to individual. That was your first year going individual.
Yeah, waited for Rich to retire.
And then that was the year Mr. Smith.
That backfired.
And that was the year Mr. Smith.
Oh no, I guess not. So 15 would have been, yeah. So Rich would have retired 2 years before from individual. So Ben won the year I was team in individual, and then the first year I went individual was Matt's first year winning.
Okay. Because I was wondering, I was like, wow, wouldn't and did Brent come in before or after you?
Same year.
Same year.
Who was do you hold those 2 points? Remind him about those 2 points a lot.
I don't have to.
Great answer.
Did you guys know each
I was talking
other?
to somebody about this recently, actually, and I think that there's been like that stuff happens all the time, right? And Brent's actually unfortunately been on the wrong end of a couple of those shakedowns. Like that year's one, 2018, when Lucas Hogberg took third by a tiebreak. He's kind of.
It also happened to him like 3 times at regionals before he made. Yeah,
so he's had a couple that have been just he's been right there, but just missed it by fractional margins. And on the contrary to that, I've actually generally, when the things have been really close, I've generally come out on the right side of it. So it's funny because it doesn't really signify that much of a difference of fitness. I think I beat him by 2 points that year based on like a 1/10 of a second run to the finish. But, then who gets the hardware is like, and then when you're in conversations with people, like that's what gets talked about, right? And so Brent's got 2 podiums and I've got 4, but like he could just as easily have 4 very, very easily, right? If we're not for like a tie break and like an extra breath. So
and you have bigger paychecks.
World.
And you have bigger paychecks because of it. Hardware and bank account, yeah. What is the difference between second and fourth place?
The difference is not that big. It's definitely not that big.
But there could be like clauses in a sponsorship if you get on a podium or something like that. And the margins are incredibly small. And there's people that missed the games this year by a 1/10 of a second. Chloe Wilson.
Yeah.
Do you put any effort into thinking about what the events could be, Patrick?
I try not to really. I think my coach does. And we talk a little bit about that. I mean, I wouldn't spend a lot of extra time in training trying to like play with new things because I think it might come up. I think that, I have thoughts about what the changes to the games mean this year with Adrian at the helm and what that could look like. But, you'll make yourself crazy trying to guess. And I don't think there's any real value in stressing yourself out over that stuff. It's going to be what it's going to be. And frankly, at this point, you're either ready or you're not.
Did you have any initial thoughts when you saw the general schedule outline that they released? You like the day off or not?
I mean, we've kind of always had the day off thing.
Almost always.
I think in my career, we've only not had it once. But the day off's fine. Like, I think it works well, especially when you're managing the age groups and stuff like that. I think I was surprised a couple of the blocks looked really small because they had team and individual blocks together, and there were some that were like an hour.
What is that? Is that like the broad jump? What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Are you guys all started and run one somewhere?
So, I mean, it makes you think like it must either be a mass start of some kind or some event where you can run, I don't know, simultaneous heats or something because how do you run whatever it is, 40 teams, 40 men, 40 women in an hour? Like, that's just logistically, it becomes interesting. And I think there's only 12 blocks on the schedule. So it made me think I don't think there'll only be 12 scores. I think probably there's a double scored event somewhere in there. So, that was kind of like my knee jerk, but I'm interested to see how they're going to run some of those really tight ones.
How many athletes at the games? How many athletes at the games total, with kids to grannies? Do we know?
I wouldn't have the slightest idea.
There are 16 masters divisions for men and women, or 16 masters divisions that have 10 each this year. And then there's the 14 age divisions. I think there are 3 or maybe 4 adaptive divisions that are live at the games this year. They have 5 each. Is anyone doing the math?
I am. That's 200 with the old, but adaptive won't be doing this. I don't think adaptive will do the same workout as the.
Yeah, but he's just talking about the 320 on day one in an hour window. Those are the teams plus individuals. 160 team members. Well, actually, it's less than that by 12 because there's only 37 teams coming, and then 80 individuals.
Okay.
Did I do the math wrong?
Well, either way, I'm just thinking
it's like 230 people.
Is that a lot of? That's not a lot of chips. Triathlons will put fucking 1,000 chips in someone, right? Like so they could chip up 300 athletes and have just a mass start. Right?
In theory, yes, but I think that's so chaotic. Like, even if you look at whatever.
Well, they'd let you guys go like 3 seconds before. You know what I mean? They'd let you guys go just or 5, 10
seconds
before.
Yeah, but let's say the like offsite event that they have permits for, like takes you to the Capitol and whatever. Like, presumably there's something going on at the Capitol. So like even just to then have all the athletes finish and then have 250 athletes finished there at the finish line at the Capitol, all standing in one place. It's like it's too many bodies.
They make you run back.
Still, then like same problem. It's just like, how do you then have everybody finished all in one place? I don't know. I'm interested to see. Like, it either means that it's kind of like a mass start event, maybe shorter length, or I don't know. Like maybe they're just running heats of a shorter event. Like I don't know. Anyway, like again, I don't lose sleep over it. I'm not trying to figure it out.
What about the gymnastics?
The schedule is not my job.
What about the gymnastics? People are speculating. We did a show, and JR really dug into it, and it doesn't sound too far of a stretch that there may be like a press to handstand or some sort of L-sit to handstand.
Oh, that'd be fun. I think there's lots of people that would struggle at it, and there's lots of people who'd be fine. I'd be curious to see how they would put it in. Like, would you put a press to handstand in as part of a workout where like you have a station, you do 3 press to handstands, you move on? Or are you doing this as like a skill test, like max press to handstands in a time limit or unbroken or whatever? I don't know. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility.
Oh, there's your buddy Ricky got it.
It's not that hard of a skill to do. I think most people will be able to do it fine.
Vellner, I didn't know there were so many girls who thought
what the standard is. Like,
I didn't know there were so many girls who thought you were cute. Look at this. This is the second girl. I just glanced over twice, and this is the second girl who's like.
2 girls think you're cute. I can't believe it's that many.
Probably more. Probably more.
Hey, but that's like 100% of our female audience. So
yeah.
And my wife too, actually. So 3.
And you've got the hair trimmed back a little more than normal. A little more, not much, but a little tighter than Wadapalooza. Maybe like a quarter of an inch tighter.
Yeah, I got a haircut last week.
Oh, shit.
My biannual haircut.
Look, Stephanie Plyler thinks Vellner is hot as fuck. Let's go with Stephanie.
Stephanie, yep, definitely that.
What up, Steve? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I got a haircut just because I feel like I get chirped a lot for my hair being out of control. And most of the year it's fine, but if I'm gonna go hang out in the humidity out there, come on, tighten it up a little bit.
Look good.
When I know
feel
there's
good.
gonna be a lot of cameras on me, I'll do something about it. I'm not a monster.
Media ready.
Is everything going according to plan? From the big picture to the small picture, as you roll closer to the date, your training, your packing, your food, your family, your tickets, your hotel, are all the pieces you feel?
So far so good. Travel's a bit of a nightmare these days in general, so I'm hoping that nobody has big problems, myself included, but I'm expecting to at least I'm prepared to deal with a couple hiccups getting to Madison.
You going with baby?
We'll he's coming.
And the wife. You're not doing just the baby, bringing the baby solo to the games?
Yeah, no, I did that the other week for to go visit my family, but no, fortunately I'll have some reinforcements.
Is this the third competition you brought? No, second competition.
No, he was at the games last year. He was at Rogue. He was at Wadapalooza.
Oh, 4.
So he'll be at so 4. This will be 4.
And it's working for you. You don't regret it, or you're afraid to tell your wife, "Hey, I think it would be better." No, I'm not going to say it.
Well, I think the reality of just like that stage, and in our lives, like my wife was on maternity leave for 9 months, so she was off, and like if I'm just gonna leave and go to Rogue, she's like, "Well, I'll come, and then we'll spend a week in San Antonio or hang out in Austin for an extra few days after the competition." So we just do that. Like that's our family time. So we kind of have made trips around all the various competitions. We went to Wadapalooza and then we went to Aruba afterwards and spent like a week there just to kind of relax and have some holiday. So we kind of have just used it as a way to travel a little bit. Now she's back working, so this is like it's going to be less like that now. But for the last year, like when he was, really small, it just kind of made sense.
How nice was that going to Aruba, knowing that you won too? Like for me, that's like, oh, the trip's paid for. Like every drink I ordered, I'd get like double shots.
It was nice. It's nice to also. There's just like we tend to travel pretty hard. Like we try to do a lot of stuff. So I feel like in the first couple of days, we got a lot of the things done that we wanted to do. And Aruba's not a huge island. So it was just kind of like after 2 days, there was nothing to do but hang out on the beach. So we got some good relaxing time in. And it's nice when that feels well earned and you don't feel guilty at all or like you need to be back in the workshop. Yeah, of course. If that's like, it's nothing better than winning a competition and then taking a holiday immediately after.
Are you reading any mindset books?
No.
Have you in the last few months?
No.
Do you have a mindset coach?
No.
Are you your own mindset coach? Do you have mindset practice?
I guess. I don't know. I guess. Yeah. I think that, I don't know. I have thoughts about a lot of the mindset
Like here's one,
stuff.
How Champions Think. Here's one for you. Dr. Bob Rotella.
See, but here's the problem with a lot of those books is I bet you I could tell you exactly what that book says.
Okay, it's fine.
And it's just like, some of it, there's also different styles that work for different people. And there's a lot more nuance than that. Like everyone can read the word and you can see people try to apply things in their practice that don't work for them, but that's what the book says to do. So they keep trying to do that. And I think that things that you learn over time, like before I ever started CrossFit, I competed like a lifetime of sports already. And I think you learn a lot and you learn what works for you. And I think when a book comes around and says like, hey, well, maybe have you thought about doing this? It's okay to be like, nah, I'm doing it this way and it works for me. And there's just like some of the mindset stuff I find is just a bit, I don't know. I think it's a bit self-congratulatory. I look at a lot of those books. I think that the primary demo for all of those books is people buy them who already know what they say and already do what they say, and they read them so they can pat themselves on the back and be like, yeah, see, I knew that. I knew it. I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
Well, they feel a bit self-congratulatory to me.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Maybe you're onto something because when I read those books, that is, I would say 90% of it is like, okay, I am doing that. Okay, I am doing it. So maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's like confirmation that you're on the right path. But there is a 10% takeaway. But the other day, my son was sparring against some kid 3 years older than him and 30 pounds heavier, and the kid takes him down and they tussle and he armbars my kid. And then in round 2, my kid just immediately double legs him, picks him up, throws the kid on his back and gets on top of him. And I said to him, I said, hey, that's what you needed to do the first time. But he didn't, because he couldn't tap into what he needed to tap into. He needed to be armbarred first, right? What do you do to make sure that you only get one chance at this? So you're at the starting line. What do you do to make sure that you don't get armbarred in a workout? What do you tell Patrick Vellner? Like, do you say, I'll show my dad for telling me that I'm the runt Vellner son? This motherfucker. I mean, like, do you have a
No, there's nothing you can do, right? I think that the reality of it is you train to a point to know your body well enough to try to understand your limits. Competition has an awesome way of helping people reach new limits. But, some of it just comes down to like, how much are you willing to fight, and do you know when and where and how to fight? Because some things, it's the wrong place. Like if I'm, doing a set of 10 unbroken pegboards and I start like trying to overreach, you're going to fail and cause serious problems. Like if I have a big set of strict handstand push-ups to do, just wanting it more or trying to like come out harder isn't the answer. And
sometimes
everybody
you got to take a break on those.
When it's
so
a
that
puzzle,
the camera guy can come by.
Yeah, Pat.
Go.
Never thought about taking some responsibility for that one?
Yeah, shouldn't have stopped. But it's a puzzle, and every athlete's solution is slightly different, right? So, it's a bit, yeah, you're right. You get one chance, but the reality is we practice a lot in training. Like, you learn a lot about yourself, and you hope that when you get given a new test, you understand yourself well enough to do the perfect answer for you. And, not everybody can win every event. Like there just literally is not that potential. So, you just have to try to maximize where you can.
Maybe a bad example. Let me try again. Do you talk to yourself, or do you let your brain talk to you? Do you see what I'm distinguishing there?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I think athletics is funny. I think you need to have a bit of to be very good, you need to try to convince yourself that you're invincible sometimes. But there's a danger to that in a lot of situations in certain sports. And I think a lot of let's say you're a basketball player. Like if you miss a couple shots, and you're a shooter, you can't be afraid to take the next shots. Because that's your job. You need that confidence to know that nah, I'm a shooter. Like that was a whatever one-off, and just move past it and blow past it like it didn't happen. And that's the kind of confidence that you need. Where okay, bad event, whatever. Whatever. That was lightning strikes sometimes. I know the next one's better, and you can move past that and not harbor all those bad emotions or feel like you're not good enough anymore or whatever it is. You have to be able to move past shortcomings quickly. Analyze fast, move past even faster. So, but there are instances where overconfidence can cost you a lot. So I think there's points where you need to be all right, if I overreach here, and I start failing legless rope climbs, the consequences are very severe. So, maybe you need to take a different approach here other than I'm invincible. So I think that in an individual event, you have to be smart. You have to understand yourself and be aware of where your limits are. And sometimes you'll find a little bit of extra get up and go when you're in a tight race. When you have bad performances, you need to have that mentality of nah, that was I'm better than that. That didn't represent me, and then move past it.
So you talk to yourself. You don't let yourself talk to you. You talk to yourself. If something starts going sideways, you take control of the narrative.
So, I mean, sometimes you have, it's funny. I would say that my general self-talk is not my head's not an overwhelmingly positive place to be most of the time. What we do is hard. And it's there's so many times where you're doing stuff and you're just fuck this.
You need that fucking book, dude. I can take that back.
But
Patrick,
I think that you have to just understand what to do with that energy. I don't walk off of every workout and be that was fun. Convince myself it was fun and I'm out here having a great time, because I'm here to compete and I'm trying to do things, and sometimes it's not fun, and that's okay.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So it's like, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. And it kind of pisses me off when people have that overwhelmingly positive attitude. Like they come up and they're like, man, oh man, I can't wait to do that again. It's like, you fucking kidding me? I will never do that again unless I'm out here again and they're making me do it for points. It's like, like a lot of this stuff is like, this is a test and I'm going to push myself to my absolute limit. But you know, that's part of the job. What's fun is, you know, passing your limits that you thought you had, or finishing a competition and being like really proud of the body of work, or saying, man, some of these things I didn't think I could do and now I could do it. That's fun. But the individual moments of like when you finish and you can't walk, like don't fucking come to the finish line and tell me how much fun you had. If you did, you shouldn't have been walking around in 30th place. Like you should have been up here trying to fucking push hard and then tell me how much fun it was.
Hey,
Nice.
what is that? What is the feeling at the starting line? It's a two-part question because I didn't want to put a word in your mouth. But whatever and then after you tell me what that feeling is at the starting line, are there varying degrees of it? Like the first event versus the last event versus events that you know you're good at versus events you know you're not good at versus events that you know you need to win. Like what is that feeling, and does it change, or is it like when you get up there and you hear the 3, 2, 1, there aren't variances? It's always like a 7 or a. Did you understand the question? I know that was a lot.
Yeah, it's stressful. Like I think there's a lot of anxiety before starting events, especially at the start of a weekend. I think
and your relationship with anxiety must be so different than other people's. Like for some people, it must be really bad. For you, it's part of the job, right? It might not even be a bad thing anymore, right?
Well, I think it's how you analyze what that is. Like to me, like anxiety around competition is a direct representation of how much you care. And I think that like you get stressed and anxious, and it's I look at that energy as being like nervous plus excited. Like that's kind of what anxiety.
Dude, that's some positive self-talk. What are you talking about? That's some alchemy. Anxiety is how much you care. You're a fucking alchemist.
But dude. It is like, look,
I agree.
You wouldn't give a shit if you didn't give a shit. You wouldn't be nervous at all. You just go out, whatever happens. Well, you know.
Yeah.
And that's a bit blasé. And I think that everybody gets stressed and anxious because, man, there's a lot of hours that we put into training, and there's not that many opportunities to show what you've worked for. You might get 3 or 4 chances a year to step in front of a crowd and be like, this is what I've been doing all year long. And it was for this time, so I could come out here and show this. So you have to like, I don't know, you got to be able to take those opportunities and understand. Like I used to have I did a lot of school, and I used to have the same kind of a relationship around exams, where you have like, you get stressed because you don't want to fail. You spend a lot of time working and studying and whatever. And this is like, you need to be able to perform and show people what you know when the time comes. And I remember somebody telling me that once. An instructor was just like, wow, like, yeah, you guys read and work a lot. And then you should feel like when it's time to write an exam, like it's time to show off. Like this is somebody, and you can just be like, bam, this is what I know. Drop every piece of knowledge you know on them and like do it with swagger. Like this is what you work too hard to like show up and be freezing up. Like look at it as a chance to like take your knowledge for a walk and like just show off. I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty interesting attitude.
Did you and Fraser ever talk about that with regards to school?
No, I don't think.
Show us your daddy skills, Pat. Show us your daddy skills. Get him.
He has a similar. My wife's crawling behind us. She's on it.
Yeah, one of my favorite things that I've ever heard Fraser say was from a Road to the Games episode. He was talking about preparing for an exam, and he made the analogy to CrossFit, and basically what he said was, I don't love suffering. I love what the product of suffering is. And it's like, I'm willing to put in the time in the gym or the time in the library and the time in the books because I want to show up on test day and know that I can perform.
Yeah, and those are what's fun. Like, there's nothing better than walking out of one of those rooms, like, keep the pencil. I know I aced that. And, like, same when you're on a competition floor and an event comes up and you say, man, good luck keeping up everybody else. And you can just kind of, when you finish and you're looking at the clock in the last few reps, just going, I literally just have to, like, walk it off. That's a really cool feeling. That is a product of a lot of work. Like, those things don't happen by accident. Like, when you see somebody absolutely crush a workout and then just walk to the finish line holding their hands up, like, that's the product of a lot of hours. So, I think that the anxiety's high when you start. I think one of the things that contributes to that is that you don't know what everybody else is working with. and you don't really know where you.
What
fit
does
in the
that mean?
field.
What does that mean? What does that mean? You mean like how
It's
juiced
still,
up they
I
are?
think it's still a competition. You're whether you like it or not. I could be the best version of myself ever, better in every single way. But if everybody else has improved, 10% more than I did, then you're still going to be graded relative to your peers. So it doesn't.
We talked
matter.
about that to
think
Ben Smith. He's the fittest he's ever been, and he fucking can't make it to the games, and yet he's a prior CrossFit Games champ.
people are fit. Like,
Yeah,
and
that's what he
it's-
said.
It's
It's nuts.
it's crazy.
Field's
And that's-
crazy.
So, I think that often when you start, you look around and people are fit, and I don't know who's been making big moves or making big improvements, and it takes a few events sometimes for you to feel like, okay, I'm back in the groove of it. Like, there's a kind of a rhythm to competition, and you get used to warming up, cooling down, being in the corrals, getting on the competition floor, and you get used to those competition floors again. But it takes a couple events. I would say by the end of the weekend, you're less nervous by far than at the beginning. Even when the stakes are high, and it's like, but what's going on, that where the races are. If I got a race against Justin, like, I know that, and I know who to watch, and I know what to do. There's way less potential at the beginning of a competition. The potential outcomes are infinite. So it's like you can sort of get a little bit, if you're not careful, you can get caught up and paralyzed by that kind of thing. You can sort of have paralysis by analysis if you're just like thinking about all the different things that could happen on, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you're projecting too far into the future. So it's, I think once you get into it, you kind of live moment to moment, or the best athletes, I think, generally do. And you get used to it again quickly, but there's always that leading up. You can feel it even at check-ins and things like that prior to first workouts. You can feel it, that the stress and anxiety is high.
Patrick, do you want to say hi to one of our greatest donors, sticker people, PMI Premium Services?
Sure. What's PMI stand for?
I have no idea, but this guy fucking is so cool.
Hi, PMI Premium Services.
There you go. That's what you got. Thanks, brother. Hey, he reminds me of the guy who Ricardo Montalban, the guy who you probably know that show, Fantasy Island?
No.
No, it was a great show when I was a kid. Man, it was weird. It's kind of like the Twilight Zone, but a little more like
Fantasy Island. That was one of those late night ones.
Like risque. Yeah, it was like Twilight Zone, but there was a little more. It was a little Twilight Zone meets Benny Hill. I don't know if you know Benny Hill. Pat, have you ever? How long have you been going to the CrossFit Games? Since 2015, so it's 7 years. Have you ever, with tears in your eyes, looked at your wife? Oh, there he is, Ricardo Montalban. Have you ever, with tears in your eyes, looked at your wife, or been holding your wife, or laying in bed and, honey, God, I fucking really want to win the games?
No.
Have you ever screamed to the heavens? Has it ever like no one's around and you're in the middle of a fucking hockey rink in Canada, and you're like, fuck God, just fucking let me win this fucker?
I don't know. I mean,
what do you need me to
I've
do?
had some like frustrations around things like that over the years.
Like where you invoke a higher spirit.
I'm too pragmatic for that kind of thing, and I'm too pragmatic and not dramatic. I need to like, I would sooner sit down with like a pencil and a paper and be like, what the fuck happened?
Dear Santa, hold my gifts and my son's gifts this year for a victory at the CrossFit Games.
Or something like, I don't know, like write myself a letter to be like, read this once a month when you're feeling like a little bit drained. Like, just fucking, these are the feelings you had at the end of the games.
Yeah.
Just read that every month to keep yourself like in it and focused. Because there's like touch points are few and far between. And it's like, you have to improve, but everybody knows the drill. Everybody's trying to do the same thing. You're trying to.
What does that mean? The touch points are few and far between. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, you might train 4 months without ever hitting a competition floor and seeing where you stack up, right?
Right.
So you train and you're like, I think I'm getting better. I think I'm doing this, but again, it's a moving target. Everybody's doing something, so you don't really know where you're at until you show up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just I'm not dramatic like that, so I don't think I have those kind of moments you're maybe looking for, but. And I like
what I got. I'm happy with my answer. You're probably one of the best guests that a podcaster could ever have. I'm very happy with that answer. Great answer.
You know that strategy he was talking about of writing a letter and reading it every month?
Yeah.
You know where he found that?
from the movie
No.
Beaches.
No, all those leadership books that he discarded, he just assumed he was in every one of them.
An after action report. That's right.
Yeah, maybe. It might be in. It probably is in some of those. And now
I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm sure
be like, yeah, do it.
It's a staple.
But before Mr. Sam Dancer comes and steals the show from you, what is your greatest steps forward this year?
By the way, isn't it great that Sam Dancer's not in the field just in case the heavy deadlift shows up? You feel a little bit better about that?
Look, I don't know. I think this might be touching back on a question that Sevan asked a while ago. When you have events like that are supposed to be good, like if a heavy deadlift came out and I know everybody's looking at me, I hate that. It's like that is also very stressful because it sucks when you're like, oh well, I hope I still got it, or if you don't do it, is it because I just made a mistake? Like, is it like I had all the skills to do it and I blew it? Like those sort of situations feel like all you can do is break even or lose sometimes. So it's like, man, you hope that you can hit those ones when they come right down the middle, but I don't know. Look, if Sam was in the field, there's no shame in second place in an event, right? You just have to try to accumulate points. I'd take second place.
How about this name right here? Is there shame in this name, Miss Pugface? There's no fucking way she has a pug face. There's no fucking way. How did you get? I'm gonna change your name to Miss Beautiful. You've been freed. You've been freed. Oh, how about this name? Sorry. How about this name? Jackson off. All I see is Jack off when I see that. That's all I see. Yeah. Hey, that dude knows how to fight. That dude knows how to fight, by the way. That dude was fighting from kindergarten to 6th grade. That fucking dude will punch you in the face.
Kids are cruel.
Dude will punch you in the face. Pat should be regular. He is regular. I'm telling you, he's one of the best guests. He's easy to get in contact with. He doesn't make me sweat and not talk.
Do you think they should allow Sam Dancer to compete in his Speedo this year in the Masters division?
Did he ask?
Every video he posts himself working out.
It's got to be a noble one. That's all.
I was going to say probably not, because it probably needs to have a number on it too.
Hey, he could ask for the women's gear though. Probably
no exceptions. No exceptions, man. You have to wear the uniform.
He could ask for okay. But now you can wear your own shoes. How good of a change was that, by the way, that they allow you to wear your own shoes? You in favor of that?
I think it's fine. I think it's good. I think it sucks to have to like break in brand new shoes and then figure them out right when you get to a competition. That's no fun. Like, I think it's just a better.
Yeah, I always wondered about that.
More fair, more equitable for everybody to like.
Was there?
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Was there a break-in period? Was that hard? Did that ever mess anything up at all for you?
Oh yeah,
blisters and stuff like that.
You hate equity versus equality.
Oh
right?
Shit! Oh shit!
I tried to steer it away. Like, tell us about those shoes.
But you understand the difference, right?
Between equity and equality.
Yeah.
Yes, so
absolutely. Equality is that everybody would have to wear the exact same shoes.
No.
Equity.
No, you have it backwards, my friend.
No, I don't. Equity is everybody gets to wear the shoes that would provide them the advantage that they would want.
Wow.
So they get to wear their shoes.
No. Equity is that the shoes are issued by the government and everyone wears the same one, so no one feels bad. No. Equality is everyone has the freedom
to make it sound like you're trying to get
God, I love you.
Standard there. Equality is everybody has the same, no matter what their needs or desires. Everyone has the same end of conversation. That's equality.
Wow. Now I see. Now I get it now. Our difference. It's over definitions of words. That makes me feel so much better. Maybe we're the same person. Well, I'll tell you this. I like whatever one. It sounds like we like the same one.
So you like the equity approach?
No, that's the equality. But that's fine. It doesn't matter.
I got you.
No, I got you.
Say it. Say you like the equity.
I like you. You were wrong about the definition of the word, but we're on the same page. Okay, fine. I'm wrong, but I
recall having you Google several words that I've said on podcasts in the past. So my guess is that I might be a little more on track.
Don't make me, because I keep referencing and I'm into learning. I'm not fighting with Patrick Vellner. He's too smart. Okay, listen.
Don't forget, he showed up to his test and he was prepared to show off what he knew.
Listen, he told us he's going to work tomorrow, and working is him getting worked on.
I don't know if we trust the first Google source. See, you got to watch your sources too.
Equity means in each individual or group of people given the same exact pair of shoes and forced to wear them. That's what I said.
It's settled.
Anyways, I do think that it's good. I think it's good that we get to use the stuff that you're comfortable in, that you've broken in, that you're used to. Awesome. Sammy,
what up, gentlemen?
Mr. Dancer, hi.
I was just taking off, getting ready to let you take over here.
Yeah, I have some words I want to run by you, Sam. I have some words I want to ask you about.
Yeah, what's that?
Nothing. I'm tired of being shown up on my own show. I'm gonna get 50 DMs tomorrow. Fucking Pat schooled your ass. Yeah. Him and Hunter schooled your ass. Fuck yourself. Make me do the whole show.
Oh, and you can
Sevan,
keep pencil.
Are you gonna be at the games or no?
I am not.
Okay.
I'm not. But keep your eye open for a CEO shirt. There'll be a few of those floating around.
Awesome. Well, it's good to catch you guys.
You're the man, Patrick.
I gotta give my baby a bath.
Thank you.
Easy, Pat.
I'll see you guys. See you, Sam. Good to see you. I'll see you in a few
Peace,
days.
love, and Speedos.
See you soon.
Whoa.
You happy with that now?
I moved him up here. You did.
I was like,
You're like, what the fuck?
I just circled everybody around and we came right back.
I moved him up here so I can I can look up here. Oh shit!
There you go.
Yeah, you're a big man. You need widescreen.
Look at that tan too, looking good.
Sam Dancer, Brian Friend with the black hair, and Matt Souza with the black hair. Oh, they got their names written there. You can see who they are.
I'm blind. Matt, Brian.
The guy next to you is Brian. The other guy is Matt. The guy below you is Matt.
Hey guys.
And I'm over here.
What's up, buddy?
Wait, I'm over here.
There you go.
It took about 2 seconds when he logged into the when we let him into the chat room here that I was regretting my rankings for the men's 35 to 39 division.
Oh. Sam, let's just start big. So you're in it to win it.
Yeah. There hasn't been, maybe except for my first year as an individual, that year I had a goal of like getting top 10. I got injured before the games even started, so my goals kind of shifted there. But I mean, I think you'd be really doing yourself a disservice if you weren't going with the intention of or attitude of winning,
But I mean, really, you're
Sevan, in January or February, whenever Wadapalooza was, I ran into Sam in the bathrooms and I asked him, I thought he might be putting a team together this year. And he said, "Oh no, man, I'm going Masters and my intention's to win." That was January. And
I heard him say in the Morning Chalk-Up interview with Lauren Khalil, with the overheating cell phone, that basically you don't want to do it and have any regrets. You don't want to be like, shit, I shouldn't have had that milkshake, or I shouldn't have went to bed early that night, or I shouldn't have stayed out late. It's like, you've gotten second place a couple times. You don't want that anymore.
Yeah. And that was it. That was like, I would just kind of, look back at my season whenever I have gotten like second with the teams. I'm like, damn, dude, I felt like I did everything that I needed to do to put together a championship team and would fall short. I'd be like, what could I have done differently? And I was like, well, maybe I just need to go full psycho and just every aspect. There's literally no late nights, like you mentioned. I didn't used to. I still am a cannabis user, but I've omitted that from my just omitted that.
For how long?
I quit in January. And except
no gummies, no nothing.
On some occasion, it would a lot. Like I used to have this thing called Fuck Off Friday, and
I have that too. It's not called Fuck Off Friday, but something else Friday. But go on.
Yeah, but essentially, I would allot myself 1 day a week to eat pizza, get an ice cream sandwich, just indulge a little bit. I haven't kept that up the entire time, but I have maybe you could count on like one hand how many times I've smoked or
Had an ice cream sandwich.
Or had an ice cream sandwich. So yeah, I've just tried to do my very best to make sure that I checked every box possible. And yeah,
when you do break the rules, can you still enjoy it? Like if you when you had, you still enjoy it. You're not like with every bite like fucking on suicide watch.
No,
like,
no,
you accept it. You come to it and you're like, all right, I'm giving myself 10 minutes here with this slice of pizza. It's going to be love, and then move on.
Yep. Yeah. I enjoy it still for sure. And I don't indulge so much that I feel like shit the next day either. So I feel like I have a good relationship with the indulgence. So
how do you do that? I can't do that. Like if I open like a bag of dried mangoes, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to have one. It's a fucking 10 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden, like before I go to bed, my stomach hurts because I ate so many dried mangoes.
That's funny. Someone messaged me today something similar along those lines. Like
that was my other account.
And, yeah, and they're like, do you have any words of advice or encouragement or like things that I can do to get better at resisting the urges to do whatever, eat whatever, touch whatever, Sevan. And I said, I don't have anything nice to say.
Like you want to say, hey, just quit being a fucking pussy.
Yeah.
Suck it up, you cunt. I mean, it's the truth. Turn your fucking mind off. Drink a gallon of water.
Just play this clip now.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and maybe that's I'm a little I'm not being compassionate enough towards people who struggle with that. I've never had a problem once I've made it up in my mind that I'm going to do something and be obedient to it. So for me, the biggest issue is just coming into the awareness of what I'm doing that's problematic. Just the ignorance of life, if you will, and being unaware of things. But usually once I come to, I'm pretty good at deciding what it is that needs to change and how I need to behave.
Sam, how much time do you spend barefoot?
How much time do I train barefoot?
Spend in your life barefoot?
In 2018, I think it was, I spent the entire year barefoot. That includes airports, training, and I don't do it as much anymore. I did it a lot in San Diego just because I was living on the beach, which is really a big reason why I like to go there. I learned. So let me backtrack a little bit. In 2017, I went to the Ultimate Hawaiian Trail Run, and
that was your first time?
No, it was probably like my second time, maybe. But I just didn't notice this particular thing the first time. So, and maybe because I was just captivated by, the island itself. But the second time I was there, I noticed all these little kids running barefoot, and they did everything barefoot. Even the kids that were like at the gym with the Keala Foundation, they were training barefoot, and they had these monster feet. It looked like they had hands for feet. None of their toes touched each other. You know how a lot of people have that pinky toe that like kind of sits underneath the other toe? None of those kids had that. And their feet like stood up on the ground. They weren't flat. They were like perched up. And it didn't matter what they stepped on. Like the Ultimate Hawaiian Trail Run is one of the most treacherous runs on the planet. There's like volcanic rock. I'm blown away that it hasn't gotten shut down. It's crazy how dangerous it is. But
you're gonna get a call. You're getting a call tonight from the Uncle Hoffy.
Dude's crazy. So I see all these kids running, and I'm like, you know what? I want to try that. And I had no intentions of reaping any performance benefits from it. I was doing it purely to be like the kids. And I wanted to show up the next year and run it barefoot, just like all the Hawaiian kids did. So I spent the next year barefoot, all my training, all my weightlifting, all my running, and in preparation to run the Ultimate Hawaiian Trail Run, which is a 10K, maybe a 10K. It's probably a little longer. 10K race barefoot. And I did it. And on the backside of it was absolutely blown away with the performance enhancing benefits that I saw. And it makes sense, right? Like from the ground up, like if there was any weak link in our system, that would be, a point it should be a point of emphasis for you to train to match the rest of your body. My knee pain went away. My back pain went away. I got significantly stronger. My hips felt great. But
have you read the book? Have you read the book, the running book? What the fuck is that book called?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. No, I haven't.
Dude, you would love it. It's so fun. It's such a great book. Get the audio book.
The book is about the Tarahumara, right? The running people in Nevada.
They're part of it. It's all just about his barefoot experience, but yeah, they're definitely part of it. It's cool as shit. I was barefoot for 2 years too, Sam. It was great. It was the best 2 years. It was amazing.
Did you notice significant changes in your
the only change I really remember, I mean, I was a dirt twirling hippie, but my when I did go back to wearing shoes, I lost a size because my arch had gotten so fucking huge. So I went from a size 8 to a size 7. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, it was the width.
And same thing though. My foot did get taller.
It got all.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm almost always barefoot now, unless I'm doing rope climbs. I train barefoot. I mean, there's no shoes are stupid. They're fun. I shouldn't say shoes are stupid. There's a place for them, but they're like warrior gear. If I'm gonna do warrior shit, like my kid skateboarded and then he had a bad accident and he's like, okay, I'm gonna start wearing shoes. Yeah, okay, yeah. Skateboarding's warrior shit. You're going to battle, put shoes on. Yeah, that's cool. And you even did the airports. I did the airports too, and all that. It was nuts.
Yeah, anybody ever say anything that whole year?
No, only at restaurants.
Yeah, I would get talked to at restaurants. I still do. It's crazy. Can you imagine saying something to a 50-year-old man barefoot with a CEO shirt on? I'm barefoot, and you're like, sir, you can't be in here with your Go fuck yourself. Look at my beard. I got beard hair older than you. It's not even true. This thing grew in 2 weeks, but whatever. Sam, how is the vision make competing? Is the vision is it impair you at all? Is it a weak link? Are there things where you're like, fuck, like at Dubai, we watched the Dubai Fitness Challenge last year, and these motherfuckers can see, and they made a wrong turn and cut the course in half. Yeah. Is there ever like the group goes that way, and you're like, this must have been the girls, and the dudes went this way, but you got them all fucking backwards? I mean, so far in your CrossFit career at competition, has your vision done anything to you where you're like, oh shit, I swam the wrong way? Or
it hasn't really held me back too much. There's definitely been some instances where I've needed some assistance from the judge, and has always been granted to me. I've really never had a judge deny my request.
Give me an example. Like, hey, can you boost me up to the pull-up bar? I can't see it. And he puts his hands around your waist.
Dude,
I want to see that
because it is really scary jumping up to a black pull-up bar in a dark building. But luckily, the pull-up bars are blue at the game, so they're a little bit easier to see. But yeah, black pull-up bars in a lot of gyms are like, I have to kind of sometimes be like, okay, here we go. But an example would be if there was maybe a shuttle run or a handstand at Wadapalooza this year. I didn't see the line and I walked way past it, and ended up walking into the bleachers.
Wow. Okay.
So like got me there. The monitors on ERGs. So just having meters being called out or calories called out. You know, I can't really see the monitor when I'm in a active, strong position. You know, I can come out of position and lean forward and squint at the screen, but that's not going to be, you know, a great place for me to be
strong.
Getting work done.
And so, do they accommodate that at the games? If you say to your ref, "Hey, can you tell me when I'm 10 meters or 5 meters out?"
Yep.
I can't see the monitor. They'll do it.
Every time you're supposed to technically like go up and report it with like the head judges. And maybe I should, but pretty much every time I've gone out and I've made a request, the judge has honored it and been incredibly helpful. So.
Sam signed a T-shirt for me when I met him in Texas at the Rogue Invitational. He's a good dude. Hans.
Hey, Hans.
Have you looked at the field? Do you know who you're competing against?
Seems like a lot of new names relatively to me. I am familiar with some. I've maintained some contact with some, but you know, a lot of the guys that I knew didn't qualify.
Yeah, are you surprised? Are you surprised Hobart's not there?
Was he even doing it?
Yeah, I think he was. Was he?
Yeah, so they didn't even either qualify or they didn't try to qualify. He did participate in the season, but he wasn't putting forth the same commitment that he did last season.
Yeah,
I think he wanted to win it. I heard coming out of his mouth right after the games that, "Hey, I'm coming back next year and I'm fucking winning this."
I think that at the end of the games last year, he had that mentality. I think in the middle of the offseason, he realized that with the way things were going with the cap programming, that was probably not the place he needed to allot the most resources this year.
So the guy, I don't recognize any of these names either, except for the Greek guy.
What are you talking about?
Craig
Roy
Kenny,
Gamboa is right down there. Craig Kenny, you know him.
yeah.
Julian Cerna.
How about this guy, Roy Gamboa? That's the guy. That's Brian's buddy.
I know Roy.
Brian tried to.
well.
Brian said we couldn't have you on the show, and we had to bring Roy on. We had to Rochambeau over it.
He's an awesome dude.
Roy was still making the games as an individual last year, Sevan.
Yes,
I've competed against him quite a bit.
You're 35, Sam.
Yep, 35.
And you have a wife and a 20-month-old baby star.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, that's awesome. And any pool between wanting to spend time with the baby and train for the games?
You know what? I did everything within my abilities to make sure that I spent every single day with my wife while she was pregnant, and I spent every single day of the first year of Star's life.
Attaboy.
I made sure of that, so there was no pull during that time because I wasn't really trying to do anything else but that. So knowing that I was going to be making a commitment in the future to training for the master stuff, I wanted to work really hard to honor that. And by doing that, it's kind of helped free up some space in my heart in regards to not feeling guilty and or having like an emotional difficulty with the amount of time that I'm missing with my wife and my daughter. During the Open quarterfinals and semifinals, I only missed out on the mornings with Star and Jen. Everything else I was there for. And it's been up until basically this past month and a half, where I went out to train with Justin Medeiros for like 2 weeks. And then
When did you do that? Sorry, when did you do that? I want to talk about that when you're done with this story. When did you go out to train with him?
Oh, it's been about a month and a half ago.
Okay, sorry. Okay, go on. So you went out there for 2 weeks, and that was time apart from your baby. Hey, and was that good? Was that nice? Was that by good? I mean, you take space and you come back and you're more invigorated and you appreciate it more. And there's some positive to that, right?
Yeah. Yes and no.
And she gets to bond with her mom a little bit without you
Yeah.
fucking hearing your deep ass voice and
Yep.
you grabbing her and tossing her around.
It's been really good. I miss them both tremendously. I got to see them last week for about a week, and it definitely filled my cup up. But I could tell even in that, I'm like, man, I'm spending, especially with the routine that I had established without them. When I was training with Justin, we were working out 4 or 5 times a day. I never had the freedom to do that when I was living with Star and Jen. It was 2 sessions a day, and that was it. I had no extra stuff. I spent the rest of the time with the family. And now back again to being alone, essentially.
Where are you right now?
I'm in Denver, Colorado, with Matthew Bickle, who you've met.
Oh, yeah. Matt's a good dude. Tell him I said hi. Fuck, awesome.
I will.
Yeah, love that guy.
Yeah, good dude. So yeah, I've been living out here, training up in the mountains.
Is that for elevation training?
Mm-hmm.
Good on you. Damn, you aren't fucking around.
No,
yeah, I was just in Telluride for my taper, if you will, which was all done. Everything was done over 10,000 feet, and it was really challenging.
Wow.
On that note, when my wife spent every second with our firstborn, and then when she had the twins, literally, like the day she had the twins, she had no time for my firstborn for 3 months. Basically, she had to like just feed the twins for basically 3 months. So I would leave the house. It went from being her kid to her never seeing that kid for 3 months, and that was the hardest thing about having the twins. She missed her first because she would never. I would take him out in the morning. We'd stay out. We wouldn't come home till 6 o'clock at night, and she get to see him for an hour, and he goes to bed. And that that shit can be fucking hard, but it ended up being great because I got to bond with them. Yeah. So at least you should know that like your wife's getting time, and you'll get your time. It's important for parents to spend some one-on-one time with the kids.
Yeah,
and you're not fucking off doing heroin. You fucking whores. You're preparing. You're driving the Strong Coffee Company business forward with your brand. You're driving your nonprofit forward. You're becoming healthier. I mean, it's a fucking great thing. I mean, I know it's easy to say and harder to do, but fuck, you're doing it. So
yeah, I appreciate that, Sevan, a lot.
Yeah,
it's really nice to hear that.
And probably she's spending time with the grandparents, and they don't got you around being like, don't hold the baby like this. I mean, everyone's, you know what I mean? It's like the fucking lion's out hunting some shit, and everyone gets to fuck off a little bit.
Yeah, I appreciate hearing that. It's because I'd be lying if I didn't say I didn't feel that those pulls and that the emotional side of it at all. That's not the case. I do feel it, and to be reminded of what good is coming from this, and not to be focused on just the separation between the people I love and myself is much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, I noticed our viewers are dropping quick. Let's shift subjects. Justin Medeiros. Oh yeah, here it goes. We're upticking again. Justin, do you know him, or do you just call Adam and you know Ellie or someone over there, and you're like, I'm Sam Dancer, I'm coming.
I know Justin. Kind of funny story too. I texted him and I said, hey, I'm gonna come out and train with you for a little bit before the games, and he kind of misunderstood, I guess, like what I was saying, and he thought that I was like coming out to like hang out, and he was really nervous that he was gonna have to like take care of me and feed me and put me up in his house, and little did he know that I was gonna end up being the one cooking for him, and he was going to be coming over to my place, and we were going to be training our asses off for a good amount of time. So, and then I got to know Coach Adam pretty well, and Ellie really well. And
that's your first time meeting Adam?
We've had some interaction, but nothing like that. Nothing where we're spending real quality time with each other.
How'd it go? Do you like him? How is he? Is he a good dude?
he's great. I learned a lot from him. I've had some great coaches and mentors over my 10-year career in CrossFit, and it was an absolute privilege to get to work with him, and I was definitely able to take some things away from it. And yeah, that's funny you bring him up, because I thought I was going there to train with Justin. Little did I know I was going there to get coached by Adam and also get to train with Ellie.
We had Matt O'Keefe on. We had Matt O'Keefe on, and he called Adam Knifer a top 5 human being. And fuck, that says it well. That guy is such a special man. Yeah, here he is. Yeah,
he is.
CrossFit Games savage, but also just a special, just a sweetheart of a gentleman. And you now you know, right, why Justin's over there and why Ellie's over there. So Ellie's a savage, huh?
Yeah, major savage. Like she's got some home runs in the tank. Like she's gonna be able to, I think, win a couple events, and yeah, she's.
By win, he means get second to Tia.
Well, but
honesty.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say she's definitely young, and she's still building her skill set and learning, but she's got the gears to, like I said, go win some events, I think, at least. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing her compete at the games.
And anyone else there notable while you were there in the any besides Adam, any other big names besides Knifer, Ellie? Oh, who's the girl in the middle? Are those two girls? I don't recognize them. They games athletes?
We got?
Trista and Christina Metz.
Trista is a teenage athlete. She's 16, I believe. I only got to train with her a couple times. Carlene Matthews was out there once.
No shit.
But
wow.
It was mostly just me, Justin, and Ellie.
And it's interesting because I think, I don't want to mischaracterize what Justin said, but I think Justin prefers not to train with other male athletes. But I think because you're a masters, there was he's not competing against you directly, so it's okay. Were you concerned that you could accidentally get injured training with these kids that are made of rubber still?
No, I wasn't concerned.
Did Adam ever talk to you? Did your wife talk to you? Hey, Sam, don't chase these fucking youngins down.
Dude, I was not only chasing them, but I was giving them the business a handful of times.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's what I was going there for. I was going there to compete and kind of have a simulated effort in regards to doing everything that I could to beat. And I told Justin before we got really started in our training, I said, hey dude, when I'm like almost every day when I'm training, I'm thinking to even though I'm not competing against you in my age group, I think to myself, what type of effort do I need to give to beat Justin Medeiros in this workout? So it was really cool to, I've been taking that attitude into all of my training, but to actually put it up to the test and actually go against him was a lot of fun.
Sam, do you think this is the most well prepared you've been for a games team, individual or otherwise?
Yeah, man, in hindsight, I didn't anticipate being able to get in this level of shape in the amount of time that I had, especially after taking like 2 years off. I just kind of sold myself short a little bit, and that's why another reason why I thought Masters would be a good way for me to get back into competing.
Do you feel like you've gotten good enough that you actually could have made a run at the individual 40 this year?
Unless Rich comes over into Masters next year, I'm going to go back into the individual.
Oh, cool.
Oh wow, that's amazing. And
wait, whoa.
I knew he was ending. I was like waiting for you to jump in there.
Sevan, just hold on one second.
He wants to compete against Rich. That's awesome.
All right, go on.
In the preparation you've done this year, do you notice anything that's significantly different about your body?
I've been able to maintain a little bit leaner of a physique than I have been able to in the past. Um, it's kind of been hard for me to ride that line, and typically when I get down under 220, I don't feel strong anymore. I don't feel explosive. And I think in the past that's maybe because I just mismanaged my nutrition a little bit and was maybe just doing my cuts in a little bit too aggressive of a manner, rather than doing it kind of progressively through the season. So that's probably been the biggest and most significant change for me, is being able to cut a little bit lighter than what I normally compete at like 235 ish. And I've been able to hang out around like 222, 225. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but that 10 to 15 pounds has been really nice, to maintain that too, and still feel energized and strong and explosive. So
what was the Richard Froning Jr. line again? What was
Sevan, I'm very impressed with your patience there.
Thank you.
I plan on returning to the individual open division unless Richard decides he wants to come try Masters out.
So if Richard comes to Masters, you will be giving him the business.
I'm going to do everything I can,
as they say in the hood, giving him the
Port
business. Vancouver hood. Wow, man,
honestly, I still feel like I'm getting better. I really do. What
about your recovery? That's been the thing in the later years for the athletes. Before the shit completely falls apart, it's the recovery.
It's been great. It really has been. I've been doing a lot of sauna, a lot of ice, and like working the soreness out of me. And whenever I do have it, I supplement with HMB. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but that's been something I've taken for quite a while, and have noticed a significant reduction in muscle soreness, and it also increasing my recovery. Nutrition has been something that I get better at year after year after year. And just my training too.
Sam, have you been sponsored by the same food company for a while, or have you changed it up?
I don't have a food company sponsorship.
Okay.
I want to know what I want to know what that stuff is. But Elisa Carr Radau says, ask the question, Sevan. We were trying to figure out what you were going to wear at the games. Will you try to wear the women's shorts at the games? Will you try to get the women's gear and put that on? What will you do to try to work out in your minimalist attire that we're accustomed to seeing you in?
I put a request in when we fill out our survey. For
what
all
Tia wears? You just put what Tia wears?
Yeah, whatever Tia gets is what I want.
Yeah.
But at the very least, I said I don't want the swimming briefs. I want a Speedo. So if we do any swimming events, I hope they honor that.
I wonder what the rule is if you went, because you're allowed to take your shirt off. I wonder if you went out there in the gear and you just took the shorts off out there and you just had a Speedo on underneath, if you'd be good to go.
I think if my number was on it, it might be okay. That's always been
the number.
You can't lose so much clothing that you lose your athlete number. So maybe I can get some custom Speedos with my number across the crotch.
They're starting to do that, some custom shit for UFC fighters. I forget, I think Venom is their thing, but there was a UFC fighter from the stick somewhere, and he was a hunter, and he was the first one who got special, booty shorts, camo booty shorts. So maybe someone at Noble. Oh, and you're sponsored by the guys.
By the title sponsor, the Noble CrossFit Games.
Yeah. Maybe maybe you could put something in, get a little home cooking.
Yeah, I'm
Now you have been with Noble for a long time.
Since day one.
The original.
Wow. That's amazing. That's cool that you've been with them.
Have you
for
noticed
so long.
a significant evolution of their footwear? I tried out some Nobles in 2000, very briefly. Obviously, you're intimate. I tried some of their footwear in 2016 or 17. I wasn't a huge fan, but as I've gotten more working at the competitions this year, I've found myself wearing their shoes more often.
They definitely, from the beginning, they wanted to kind of have this like Chuck Taylor type shoe, the shoe that was that was the shoe. And the Chuck Taylor hasn't changed ever. And that was kind of, they wanted this shoe that they could ride, and it would be their marquee shoe, the shoe that the entire brand would be built around.
A forever shoe.
And they've made some new iterations of it, and they've worked to make things more comfortable and make things more durable. But I would continue to expect there to be a mild evolution to.
Are you involved in that process at all?
A little bit more back in.
Have them make a shoe for a man, please. Could you tell them that, to make a shoe with a wide toe box,
we're working on it. It's happening. And
a wide. I was going to show you my wide toe, but I can't find it. But we need a toe box that like my toes can fit in. Like my toes aren't smushed together. Yeah.
I'm constantly in communication with Michael, who's one of the lead designers, one of the owners, and working towards getting into more minimalist shoes, wider shoes, open toe, like running sandals and whatnot. And you have to understand they have next year already mapped out, so, and also they're like 20 steps ahead of any ideas that we have. It just takes time for these things to actually be brought to the market. So every release is planned out for the next year. Every shoe that is going to come out over the next year has already been decided upon, has already been designed, is already being wear tested. The process takes a while, and it makes sense though also too why a company why they've been able to have the level of success that they've had, being so diligent with their planning and their marketing, and everybody within the business knowing what to expect and being able to get on board with that. But yeah, I've gotten to work a little bit on the creative process, less and less as the brand continues to grow. When we first started, there was 3 employees and a couple athletes. Now there's hundreds of employees. So their design teams and marketing teams have really.
They should fire their marketing team. Sorry, I tried to stay. I've been trying to stay quiet. I'm trying to stay quiet, but they should fire them.
They should fire.
Yeah.
Just a little feedback.
I'll give a full report, Sevan.
They know. Oh, they know.
A Minshew, fire the marketing team. Those are the notes.
They know. I don't want to. I know tomorrow people are gonna be like, Sevan. I'm not. I'm just. I don't want to get into it because I love you, Sam, and I don't want to get into it because I like your.
You already argued with our previous guest.
Yeah. Well, I like it that you have sponsors, and I like it that I know they're supporting a really good human being, and you are an asset to humanity, and so I'm not interested in saying anything negative. Okay, I want to shift gears.
That was really good.
Okay, good.
I was really impressed.
I'm gonna take one. Don't worry, I'm gonna get fucking butt slammed in the in my DMs for being a pussy all for the next 24 hours. Yeah. I want to talk about the Strong Coffee for a second. Can we bring up their website? Because I ordered a Gaines box and I got my first shaker. So what I was doing with the Strong, I drink Paper Street coffee for the podcast, and for working out I drink Strong Coffee. So I like to do, but I was always stirring, and I always drink it with milk. I stir it in milk,
I
but
like
it would always be
too.
it would always be like powdery and shit. But I didn't care. I kind of liked it. So this one right here.
That's the one I like, the red.
Oh God, they're all
Morning
so
fix.
good. They're nuts. So I
Have you had
put
the honey lavender?
no. Which one's that?
The purple one.
Oh no, but I have that. I got that. I haven't tried it yet.
That's it right there. Iced honey lavender.
So I've been started putting this in a shaker now with milk.
Yeah.
Do you do that?
route. Yeah, I like that route too.
But then I want to add milk. You can, and I guess the way a shaker works is you can only fill it halfway because you got to have room for the shake. But then afterwards, I want to fucking pour more milk in it, but the bubbles are all the way up to the top. Like, have you cracked the code on this? How to mix this with enough milk to?
Yeah, the frothers, the little spinner mixers.
Oh yeah, everyone keeps telling me to get a frother. I don't know what that is. Everyone keeps telling me I need one of those.
I'll get you one.
They're just little mini blenders.
Who's gonna clean that after I use it?
You just rinse it off.
They clean fine.
That's
I'm
easy.
not cleaning shit.
Even if you don't clean it, it'll be okay.
Yes, Sammy. No shoes, Sammy. Don't clean the frother, Sammy.
Yeah.
Okay,
that.
and then the black one. I like this one. Do you guys still sell the black?
Yep.
It's just a black jar of coffee. So this thing, no, it's in a plastic.
No, the blue. Go to the blue one. Yeah,
no,
that's
it's just in a plastic.
Well, that's they were distributing those for a while because some of the supplies they needed to make the color bags weren't available with all the.
Are you?
Oh, you don't
about
sell
just
that
the
jar
plain-
anymore?
We have the jar. That's if you go over to the black one. I'm sorry. That's the plain coffee.
Oh, but you don't sell it in a jar anymore.
We do not sell it in the jar anymore. It comes in a bag now.
Okay. That's the one. That's like my go-to. That's like just add hot water and fucking throw it down the gullet and fucking work.
Yep. I love it. I love the ease and the speed of it. And I like that I can travel with it. And it's something I really enjoy as well.
Are you like being a part of this company? Adam
It's
Vaughn.
been Adam von Rothfelder.
Yeah.
Good buddy of mine. I've gotten to be pretty close with him really from the beginning. It wasn't until within the past like 2 years that I became to come to have ownership of the company. But from the beginning, I've been really close with Adam and believed in the product and
How come it doesn't say the Sevan Podcast on there? Look at this shit.
That's what I say. Now it can because we got it.
Okay.
Now that we're here, we got some exposure. We get a little logo down there.
Get my logo up there. God damn it.
We'll get you up there. We'll get you up there.
Hey,
By the way, that guy Adam, I've had a chance to meet him twice. Once at a High Rocks event, once at Wadapalooza this year. He just gives out the persona of being incredibly passionate about what he's doing, and as a result of seeming like a very genuine sales pitch, basically about his product, I have it's become a daily part of my routine as well.
Yeah, he's an inspiration to me. So he's very hardworking gentleman, and it's.
Oh, you don't have to wash it. You can just
no.
Yeah,
you can spin it. You can just spin it, Sevan, and it cleans itself.
Okay. Wow, that's
$14.
I love something that's self-cleaning and you just spin it. Or spit on it. Sam, I'm going to give some financial advice to anyone out there listening right now, and you tell me if this is right or not. If anyone ever with the last name Von Rothfelder wants to go into business with you, say yes. I mean, that guy just sounds rich as fuck.
Dude. Right?
What a great name.
And I always have to say his whole name. Whenever we have phone calls, I always have to say, "Good morning, Adam von Rothfelder."
Yeah. I said BKG this morning, and I was so angry because I always like to take the time to say Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson.
Nice.
And I fucking just ran over him today and said BKG. I was like, or was it last night? I was so frustrated. I was like, why did I do that? You were an art major?
Yeah, art major.
What was your medium?
Mostly ceramics. I did dabble a little bit in some jewelry making and a little bit of design and some work with acrylics and charcoal, but my main focus was ceramics.
Is it behind you? Are you
he's in
doing anything
Colorado.
else?
No, it's I own a kiln and I own a wheel. I don't get to do it as often as I would like, but it's, sometimes in life you have to choose between not only just good and bad things, but two good things. And
hey, I'm seeing this thing. I'm seeing you in a series of photographs, naked at the what's that thing called? The spinner thing?
the wheel.
The wheel. You're naked at the wheel. Your penis can't be seen, but people know you're naked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you make some pieces. You know how you're supposed to drag your hands on it, to shape it, but you do some ornate work with your penis.
So there's this guy.
Oh shit! I knew it. Knew it. Yes.
Named Picasso.
My
brother came across him.
Find him, Souza. Picasso.
My brother wanted to get a good friend of his for a wedding gift this painting that was commissioned. But he wasn't gonna tell him that a dude painted it with his dick.
So he dips his dick in paints and then drags it around on the
even better.
Dad. Well, that explains everything.
You're on to something there, buddy.
You were anti-gun.
Yeah,
like me. Guns are bad and dangerous and they hurt people.
I hated them.
And like me, you have found a utility for them. Is there a big picture understanding to it? I mean, because they've killed 1.6 million people in the United States since 1968 or something like that.
Yeah.
That never happens in the Netherlands. They only have 3 shootings a year because they don't have guns. Is there have you thought about why you're okay with it now? What happened?
I have an answer to that, but not probably one that you're really looking for in regards
darn it. Okay,
to,
next subject.
The more political nature of it. And for me, what changed it was I got trained. I got trained to handle a firearm, and it helped me tremendously.
Why did you do that? Why did you get trained? What you wanted to? You were facing your fears, or you wanted to clear your ignorance? Why did you get trained? If you're like, this is a piece, I hate cockroaches. Why do you have a cockroach collection now?
Yeah,
and realize that they're vital to the health of the planet.
I hate spiders, and my roommate bought me a spider so I could deal with that too.
Wow.
It helped a little bit, not much. They tried to tease. They tried to tease me too much with it, so it kind of scared the shit out of me.
So how did you get? Who was like, hey Sam, you got to get over this, and you got to take a gun course?
So my brother had been going to this tactical training center in Farmington, Missouri. It's a bunch of Navy SEAL and MARSOC.
Your real brother?
My real brother. And he'd been really enjoying it, and I could see that he was really having a great time learning all the things that he was learning. And my brother married into a family that's avid duck hunters. They have this duck hunting property that is literally second to none. They have a commercial kitchen in one of their duck blinds.
What state?
Wow.
It's technically in Illinois, but it's Missouri is where they're all at. But I went duck hunting, which I was like I was terrified about, but it was just kind of like the camaraderie of getting to meet my new family, and I actually really enjoyed it.
God, they must trip on you.
They do a little bit. But we're good. We're family now and friends and
fuck you, deal with me.
I really enjoy their company, even though it's completely counterculture to my lifestyle. Completely. Like, we have very little in common, and it's been quite a pleasure getting to. It's like the CrossFit gym, honestly. There's a couple hundred people in my gym that I'd probably never hang out with if it wasn't for the gym. Some of my best friends are in their 60s, literally people that I choose to go hang out with and go over to their house and have dinner with them and do art with them and just have fellowships. So similar to that, it just kind of it was cool how something like
how do you see good enough to shoot a gun?
So because of my eyesight, and I had
they gave you a BB gun.
No, they gave me a shotgun.
Oh fuck.
And also another good story, I beat Josh Bridges in a skeet shooting contest years ago. But here's why my eyesight doesn't affect me, because people become target fixated. So that means they're looking at their target and they're not looking at their sights.
Yeah.
I can't really see my target very well. So I become hyper focused on my sights, which are like right in front of my face. So I become fixated on my sights, and that allows me to have a cleaner shot than an individual who's focused on their target. So,
and he's farther away from the target if the target's in the air than you.
Yeah. There was a handicap there too. But so getting kind of back to it, going hunting kind of opened up my eyes a little bit. Being able to like harvest my own meat was I was terrified of it at first, but it really helped me kind of find a passion for it. And I enjoyed being able to bring home like 15 pounds of duck breast to my wife and daughter and be able to feed them with that. That was really quite amazing. And then just between that, my brother getting into shooting, and I have another good friend, Jared Stevens, who is like loves that stuff, and it's not really my thing, but I've come to really I enjoy it. Like, I'm gonna go try the tactical game stuff out, and I have fun going to shoot with my brother, or go hunt with my brother-in-law, or go do firearm and fitness competitions with my friends Jared Stevens and Jacob Hepner. So that's kind of been the way that I've gotten over the disdain that I had for firearms, and just getting classically trained has really helped me levy the fear and see. I don't know that I necessarily see the need for them, or again, I don't really have any political stance on them. I've really enjoyed it. I've learning how to handle it has been good.
That'll
for
come
me,
next.
and
That'll come next. We had the tactical games on this guy on the show, Jared Halbert.
Yeah, I know him pretty well.
That dude's cool as shit.
Yeah, he's a savage.
And if you were like left on the planet with just like 10 people, I'd pick one. He'd be like one of the dudes.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, that dude gets shit done.
And so I got to go to that tactical training center with my brother and meet a bunch of these Navy SEALs, meet a bunch of these MARSOC guys, and get trained by them. And they are just and that was another kind of driving force, just seeing how badass these guys are.
Yeah.
It was so it's
being
cool.
Badass is cool.
Yeah.
Mr. Friend.
Yeah.
Do you think Sam Dancer is going to win the 35-39 Masters division this year?
Yes.
And Sam, just so you know, he doesn't lie. We put him on the spot, and he doesn't.
He doesn't.
He would say something. He's very good. He would be if you didn't think so. He'd be like, he's very good. I'm very impressed with his dedication to going out to train with Justin was fantastic. But wow. Okay.
I mean, look, it's honestly it's the same thing that Vellner was talking about earlier. Like, we've spent 45 minutes to an hour with him, and his level of commitment is very apparent. But I don't know what Roy Gamboa and Julian Cerna and some of these guys that I don't know as much about have been doing this past year, and I'm sure that they're going to show up there in really good shape too. Sam has, an incredible base of fitness. Like he said, he's been competing for 10 years. He's competed at this level as an individual and as a team member, and he'll know, he has all those kind of advantages that some of the other guys do too. And I feel like we could stand for hours with him. He's a wealth of experience, and I think that really comes into handy in a setting like the games.
I'm sorry, you cut out. What did you say about a handy? Sam,
Sam's reaction is the best.
I really appreciate you coming on, brother. Throughout the week, we may bug you. If it's convenient for you, come on. If not, super low stress.
Sam, do either you or Bickle play the guitar?
No, but I have a good question for you that he would really want for me to ask you guys. If you could play any and all instruments in the world, or speak every language in the world, which would you choose?
I'd go with every language.
I am so bad at music that playing music, I think that it's like a total mystery to me. So I think I might choose that.
If it was, I would choose every language, but if it was back in the days when I had a harem, I would have chosen music. Every instrument.
Like I've lived in a Spanish-speaking country and spoken that language, and it's very cool. I've traveled around France at the time I was able to speak French. It was very cool to be able to talk to people in other languages, but I can conceptualize it. I think that this fact that playing music has always been very difficult for me, that would just open up a whole world of creative freedom that's appealing in that regard.
That's a good answer. Good answer.
Whoever has mastery of the language is the main sorcerer on planet Earth.
Yeah.
I feel like it's hypnotized by the music.
Yeah, that too, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Please tell Mr. Bickle I love him. I gotta have him back on. I miss him. He's a great dude. He's a great guy. Tell your wife.
He's my coach. My coach this year.
I'm gonna
no
come
shit.
find you guys.
Yeah.
In all my travels, I've seen him, but I've never met him, and I've always felt like I've been missing out.
Yeah. Well, hopefully
He's
at the
easy.
games you can finally get to have that interaction. He's an amazing human.
Yeah.
And he's been a lot of help for me this season, and just keeping my head on straight and putting me in good positions to work my ass off and get as fit as possible.
Awesome. Well, thank you. If there's anything you need from us, text us anytime. Tell Adam
Please.
I said what's up. Tell Bickle I said what's up, and we'll be talking soon.
Cool. Thank you guys. It was a real pleasure. Love you all. Until next time.
Thanks,
Peace,
Sam.
Another day on the Sevan Podcast.
Dude, Sam Dancer, man, he has done a lot of really cool and unique things relative to most people.
Yeah, I still remember an early podcast with him on Barbell Shrugged, probably 2014, and they were he was swinging out of a flask of Jack and stuff while he was on that podcast.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I forget who they were with, but it was a kind of a mix of characters after a competition. So I think it had just ended or something like that, and they were kind of kicking back, and he had a little Jack in the cup and stuff. And so it's funny to see that evolution of him as a person, a father, an athlete.
Yeah, I mean, he's. I get this camaraderie with him because we're both so strong, and we're both dirt twirling hippies.
Yeah.
Not the strong part. Yeah, he's I feel like him and I, maybe there's some similarity there, or Ronnie Teasdale, Rob Earth, this
There's definitely that thread.
like this blue to red pill. Tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. I'm going to sit down with the owner of CrossFit TYL, and you will find out what that stands for, and it's pretty damn awesome. His own name is Chris Dorst. You do not want to miss this. This is going to be the first of 52 podcasts I'm going to do with affiliates this year. It is going to be something special. I made a statement on one of the shows that I was making a direct, statement to the leaders at CrossFit HQ that they need to take their responsibilities extremely seriously, because there are people in the middle of this fucking country and all over the world who have spent every single cent and every cent of their families to put food on the table by running a CrossFit gym. They believe in you and they need you. And this guy reached out and said, hey, I'm the dude in Iowa. And I've been an affiliate for 8 years, and I put every fucking cent into it. And when you hear this guy's story, I started doing some research on him. It's fucking intense, man. If you work at HQ and you don't want to feel the heat, don't listen to this one. If you do want to feel the heat and you like pressure, this is the one you want to hear. This will motivate you. Like if I worked at HQ, this would motivate me to want to work hard every single fucking day. This is why you do what you do at the mothership. Then at 6 p.m., Brian Fran, Matt Souza, and myself and the great Danielle Brandon will be coming on. And we will be asking her everything about her toe spacers that you've ever wanted to know.
The tell-all.
The tell-all, yes. The tell-all, Danielle Brandon. And then at 6:45, we have Jason Grubb, 2-time CrossFit Games champion. He called into the show one time. I didn't know it was him, and I just started ripping on him. And
you described my mom to him. He thought it was my mom.
And then on Thursday morning, we have the great Cara Saunders, maybe the only true threat to Tia Toomey. And then I don't know, someone else will probably come on that show also. We don't know yet. And then we have James Sprague and Dallin Pepper at 6:30. And then the next day, Friday, we have the UFC show. We have Amanda Barnhart. We have Lazar Jukic. That day, it's like just podcast nonstop.
Yeah, and there's a couple others that might sneak into that day too. That'll be really cool.
And then on Saturday, this show is going to be fucking wild at 5 p.m. It is the most knowledgeable fucking people in the CrossFit game space, walking planet Earth, and myself. And we are going to...
I would include you in there.
Okay.
For this particular category, you might be at the bottom, but CrossFit Games in general, you can hold your own.
I'm like Julia Cato. I made it to the games, but like I've taken a beating for some false reporting about me on my way to the top. And it's going to be a crazy show.
Yeah,
I mean, we're going to have Chad Schroeder. If Chad Schroeder is like the wizard, like the Wizard of Oz, just the dude behind the curtain, the know-all. Like he's the only guy that Brian's like, did I get that right? And that guy's coming on the fucking show. I don't even know if he can talk. It's going to be crazy having him on here.
If you've been a fan of Buttery Bros for a long time, Chad was interviewed by them at Wadapalooza back in 2019, I think.
And he made the video?
He made the video.
Oh, I got to see.
We were there together.
And Brian and John Young and Andrew Hiller and J.R. Howell. And
I don't think John Young, I think you kicked him out so that you could play.
Oh, yeah. Fuck John Young.
He'll be watching in the comments.
Yeah, he'll be tearing us up in the comments. He actually offered to.
He might be feeding Sevan draft picks.
Yeah. He might be texting me draft picks. It might be me and John Young on the same team.
It'll be the Biden effect.
That's your team name?
It should be. Anyway, this show is going to be crazy, and we're all using this app that's in beta that Tyler Watkins has designed, and it's basically going to be a fantasy league, and it's the text thread's already out of control.
On this thing?
Yes.
Lauren Khalil from the Morning Chalk Up is going to be there. That's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
So that's Saturday at 5 p.m. We scheduled it at 5 p.m. so you can watch this and then still watch the UFC pay-per-view. So
priorities.
And then I think that morning I'm going to do a live call-in show. It should be nasty. And and then on Sunday, John Young comes back, and that's when we start really getting fucking serious. The name of this show is 2022 CrossFit Games Indie Male Predictions with Brian Friend and John Young. And I'm already getting a lot of DMs that saying that Brian is already frustrated and regrets having John on. So I can only imagine what the next two shows.
I love
Not
it.
at all, not at all.
I love it. I love the pushback and it's
Well,
great.
it's one of those things like when John comes on the show, usually the more heated that if it ends up getting there, we'll end up having a conversation later that day. That's a really good conversation.
You guys have to settle it out afterwards. And
no, it's really good. John and I don't speak that often, but we always have good conversations. And
Yeah.
I do enjoy the challenge of having him on the show. I mean, I know he doesn't agree with me about everything, and but we usually both bring good positions to the table, and it's fun to have someone who can do that.
Yeah, I love it because the value it brings to the audience and the people watching. Like even me, just as sitting here, when I hear you guys go back and forth and stuff, I just learn a ton, and it's just really cool coming into the games to have all that information. It makes it exciting.
By the way, I was a little nervous about this morning's show because we're gonna have like a set game plan really for it, and I didn't know how long it lasts. I got a ton of good feedback from that this morning, which was really nice.
What does that mean? What's good feedback look like?
Brian, you were cute.
Some people, for example, said that I was cute, and other people said that they actually like that more than a prediction show because it gives them something tangible to think about with regards to each athlete. Instead of saying this one's better than this one, they could actually say, oh no, well, this one might do better at this, but this one's actually pretty good at this. And I think that if you don't really take the time to study each of the individual athletes, it's really easy to just rank them against each other without realizing that how do they end up in that rank at the end of the weekend.
Dude, there's so many people who could give two shits about the games who watch the show and just want to just party with us, and they're now interested in the games.
Yeah,
I'm one of them.
Me too. It makes it so much fun with all this the information that you guys bring, and then we pick our athletes, and everybody grabs favorites. It's cool.
Yeah, it's good. I love it.
Can you put Elise's comment up before we go?
Let's see. Brian, don't worry. You are
about Heidi. She has my number now.
They were all just Heidi in the DMs.
It's escalated.
What? Let me see this one. I always like the long ones. Anthony, if you have a 12 gauge, look into shot. Oh, it's gun talk. All right, fine. Thank you. Make sure you go to Vindicate. I don't know where the website is, but make sure you go there and get all your gear. I love the shirts. I think he made this shirt. I think this is his purple shirt. Just so you know, if you're ordering a shirt, I'm 5'5", 163 maybe, and this is a fucking large.
I've been underselling you.
Yeah, this is a large. So be smart. I don't know who the fuck wears a fucking medium. Hey, I did 20 rope climbs for time today.
With shoes?
Yeah, I did wear shoes. I wear shoes, socks, and sleeves.
Yeah, we saw your knee sleeves on the split snatch.
The videos coming out. Are you going to try to match my time on that, Brian? When the video comes out?
Okay, that one's not out yet.
No, the 20 rope climbs for time.
Oh, the 20 rope climbs.
That was just today.
That's
what I could excel at. Maybe I'll do it too.
Maybe I've done 20 rope climbs in workouts before. I don't think I've done 20 for time.
I was kind of surprised at how difficult it was.
I feel like I could hold a 30, one every 30 seconds for a while.
Yeah. It just gets weird when you get to, the thing is this, right? You're doing them and you're just doing them. And then you kind of get to 10 and you're like, okay, I'm going to push a little bit harder. And then you get to 15 and you're like, I'm pushing a little harder. And then you're like, uh-oh. And you I experienced my hardest rope climbs ever doing that today with the camera there. Fucking knucklehead filmmaker dude came over again. He wanted me to fucking do Cindy. Like, fuck you.
More and more people are doing that 5-minute echo bike, 5-minute off, 5-minute echo bike. It's very cool.
Yeah, that's the cool part about it.
Are we gonna ask Danielle Brandon any hard questions tomorrow? Or are we just gonna look into her eyes and be like, hi, how are you? Good to see you. You're so strong.
It's gonna be the
one you're thinking about. I was hyped up for the morning one after your sales.
The morning one's gonna be dope. It really is gonna be dope. If you're an affiliate owner, I think this series is gonna be nuts.
Yeah,
I should fucking have Danielle Brandon on it to just juice it up. Just pop in and be like, hi.
Just so we could throw it in the title.
Oh, yes. How about that? Brian, you work over at the Morning Chalk Up. Those fucking guys. I'm going to have a talk with Lauren Khalil on Saturday. She interviewed Matt Torres. His name's not in the fucking title. It says Danielle, Brandon, and Phil Toon. Pull that video. These motherfuckers, we need to get more serious with our titles. Matt Torres' name is not in the title. Are you looking now, Brian, at the Morning Chalk Up website?
No.
Oh, okay. I
don't have an involvement with title selection for the videos.
I'll have a talk with Lauren. And her videos over there are starting to get more views than my videos. This is bullshit. Because you've been spending too much time over there, Mr. Friend. All right.
I think I got a podcast with you every day for like 10 days in a row.
Good. Good.
We're selfish.
Shit ain't going to suck itself. All right.